Rich Dad's Investment Guide. The author, Robert Kiyosaki, is a best-selling author, investor, and financial educator. The Rich Dad Poor Dad series has become a staple in any financial reading list, making it one of the most influential book series in personal finance. From an early age, Robert was influenced by his entrepreneurial father, gradually developing the financial mindset of the wealthy. After graduating, he faced a common dilemma that many young people encounter. Should he follow the conventional path and find a respectable job or pursue entrepreneurship? He could have easily secured a promising career as an airline pilot. However, following his entrepreneurial father's advice, he chose to build his own business, eventually becoming a millionaire and achieving remarkable success. His entrepreneurial father taught him that to invest, one must first think like the wealthy. There's a 90-10 rule. 10% of people earn 90% of the money. To join this wealthy 10%, you must first transform your mindset. The wealthiest individuals don't just buy investments. They create them by building businesses that investors want to invest in. His father consistently emphasized the EBSI quadrant, representing 4 different types of people. Left side, E and S types. E stands for employee, the working class who work for others, with limited money and time. S stands for self-employed or small business owners, including professionals like lawyers and doctors. They might have some spare cash, but are far from financial freedom. Right side, B and I types. B stands for business owner, those who own systems that generate money for them. I stands for investor, the ideal state, where money works to its maximum potential. When you become either of these 2 types, you'll find that making money becomes easier, wealth accumulates faster, and work pressure actually decreases. This is because while the poor have limited income sources, mainly salaries or part-time work, requiring overtime for extra income, the wealthy have multiple income streams. He earns income from shares, stocks, his own business ventures, and various investment returns. The entrepreneurial father believes that money comes from our mindset. If we think money is hard to earn, it truly becomes difficult. If we believe money is easy to make, opportunities appear everywhere. It's like 2 sides of a coin, poverty on one side, wealth on the other. Why do most people struggle on the poverty side? Because they only see the difficult aspect of earning money. Before investing, 3 factors need consideration: security, comfort, and wealth. All 3 are important goals that people pursue. However, different people prioritize them differently. The poor tend to put security first, while the entrepreneurial father prioritizes wealth, openly putting the goal of making money at the forefront. Often, poor people are afraid to invest. Their first thought is, how much could I lose? For example, what if the stocks I buy crash? Or what if I buy a house and the property value doesn't increase or increases too slowly? The entrepreneurial father identifies 3 reasons why people think this way. First, they lack systematic training and mostly follow investment trends. Second, they lack control. While investment carries risk, it isn't dangerous. Everything in life has risks. Even experienced drivers can't guarantee they'll never have an accident. That's risk. But driving without holding the wheel or driving drunk, that's dangerous. Third, these people only invest externally rather than internally, meaning they never see the detailed internal workings of businesses. The poor focus more on money itself, like Robert's biological father. He believed in saving money, being frugal, never wasting a penny, and storing away earnings immediately. I have a friend just like this. When food delivery services were starting up and platforms were offering promotional discounts, he would constantly research which platform had the best deals and most coupons. Everyone had to wait while he compared prices before ordering. While being thrifty, they're also eager to earn money, but their money-making endeavors usually stay at a basic level, focusing on low-skill activities. Many people start taking part-time jobs when they begin college or their first full-time position. However, this is precisely the time when personal growth should be the priority. Unfortunately, most of our traditional education has instilled in us a poverty mindset. Take Warren Buffett's mentor Benjamin Graham, who often told his students, study hard, work diligently, save money, and be frugal with your salary. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Just like what most parents tell their children. However, successful entrepreneurs say, while hard work and saving are important for security and comfort, they alone won't make you wealthy. This conventional thinking represents a poverty mindset. Whether in America or elsewhere, your retirement income will inevitably be less than your working salary. While it might be enough to get by, it won't lead to the financial freedom that successful entrepreneurs enjoy. The good news is that it's never too late to begin investing. Regardless of your profession or age, you can start from scratch and build your investment portfolio. Let's discuss how to create an investment strategy. Before becoming an investor, let's understand 7 fundamental principles. First, understand which type of income you're working for. There are 3 main types. 1. Earned income, your regular salary. 2. Portfolio income, returns from stocks, mutual funds, and other financial investments, which are the most popular forms of investment. 3. Passive income, revenue from sources like rental properties and royalties, where you earn money with minimal active involvement. Understanding these 3 types helps you determine which income stream to focus on. Second, convert your earned income into portfolio or passive income whenever possible. This is fundamental for any investor because, as mentioned earlier, relying solely on salary isn't enough. You need to make your money work for you. Third, use securities to transform earned income into passive or portfolio income to secure your earned income stream. When hearing this, many people become confused, wondering how securities can secure earned income, especially considering market volatility. This brings us to the distinction between assets and liabilities. While many people consider all their securities as assets, securities are actually vehicles for preserving wealth. Securities become assets only when they generate profit. 4. The investor is the real asset or liability. Every investment comes with a warning. Investment carries risk. Proceed with caution. Yet some people consistently make money. The entrepreneurial father said that your decision-making ability is the greatest risk factor. If you merely follow investment trends without professional knowledge and experience, you become the biggest risk and potentially the biggest liability. Moreover, investing is a rather mundane activity. Those get-rich-quick schemes promising astronomical returns aren't real investments. They're gambling mindsets. 5. Be prepared for any situation. True investors prepare for all scenarios, while non-investors constantly try to predict the future, obsessively checking market indices, charts, and their investment portfolios daily for gains or losses. We often hear statements like, "If only I had bought that stock back then," or "I should have bought that house in Manhattan when I had the chance." The key is to prepare yourself with knowledge, experience, and sufficient cash, so when opportunities arise, you can act decisively. 6. Good deals naturally attract capital. When there's a solid project, attracting funding becomes relatively easy. So why do some still struggle to raise money? Usually, it's not the project that's the problem, it's the people managing it. 7. The ability to evaluate risk and return. The entrepreneurial father said, "The more investment knowledge you possess, the more money you'll make and the lower your risks will be." He posed this scenario. If you have $25,000 and 2 options, your nephew wants to open a small burger stand, or your nephew who has worked in a major burger chain for over a decade wants to open a franchise location. Which would you choose? The author chose the second option. With the same investment amount, the second option clearly carries less risk. Understanding these 7 principles helps establish basic investment thinking. However, to reach the investment level of the wealthy and make safer investments, Rich Dad says you need 3 E's: education, experience, and excess cash. Education refers to your financial knowledge. Unfortunately, we rarely encounter this type of knowledge in traditional schooling, where the focus is primarily on academic subjects with almost no emphasis on financial literacy. Consequently, most graduates end up working for others. Living in the poor quadrant means we need to consciously develop our financial capabilities. The views of the poor dad and rich dad differ significantly on this matter. Robert's biological father, who was a PhD, belonged to the academic world. In their circle, making mistakes was considered terrible, and if someone made frequent mistakes, it indicated they had intellectual problems. The entrepreneur father thought differently. To him, the more mistakes a person made, the more they could learn from them. Having sufficient cash flow needs no explanation. Everyone understands its importance. Like the chicken and egg cycle, where chickens lay eggs and eggs become chickens, you need to start with something. We'll discuss how to obtain adequate cash flow later. Now that we understand the wealthy mindset, let's look at different types of investors. The rich dad outlined 5 types of investors, but they essentially follow 2 approaches: directly purchasing assets or creating assets. To become wealthy, you need to utilize both methods. Let's examine the different types of investors. The first type is the accredited investor, who either earns substantial income or has significant net worth. Rich Dad was an accredited investor. Naturally, not everyone can qualify for this status. In the United States, less than 3% of Americans meet the requirements. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has specific criteria. Individuals must have earned at least $200,000 annually for the past 2 years, or $300,000 for married couples, with the expectation of maintaining similar income levels. The second type is the qualified investor, who has both money and investment knowledge. These investors know how to analyze publicly traded stocks and typically include stock traders and analysts. The third type is the sophisticated investor, who is more advanced than qualified investors. They excel in both financial and legal knowledge, utilizing tax laws, corporate law, and securities law to maximize returns while protecting their principal. If you aim to become a successful investor without starting your own business, your goal should be to become a sophisticated investor. The fourth type is called internal investors, who are typically business owners with their own profitable operating systems. To become an internal investor, you need to create a successful business. The nature of the business doesn't matter as long as it's profitable. Internal investors can also become sophisticated investors by studying legal knowledge. The final type is the ultimate investor, who is also known as a restricted shareholder. What's a restricted shareholder? These are original shareholders who held company stock before its initial public offering, IPO. These are the basic investment concepts the entrepreneurial father taught the author. Understanding these concepts helps avoid blindly following investment trends and minimizes investment risks. As mentioned earlier, successful investing requires knowledge, experience, and sufficient capital. We've covered knowledge and experience, so let's discuss how to achieve rapid wealth creation. Robert discovered a significant difference between his 2 fathers just in terms of taxation, regardless of their income levels. His entrepreneurial father only needed to pay taxes on his net income, which he could control. For example, if he had $100,000 in net income, he could spend $80,000 on real estate first, leaving only $20,000 as taxable income. However, his biological father, being a government employee, had to pay over 30% tax on his entire salary, leaving him with much less disposable income. This tax policy influenced the author's career planning. After graduation, since he was a military academy graduate, his biological father wanted him to become a pilot. To others, this seemed like an excellent career, prestigious, technical, and professionally fulfilling. Many people would consider this an ideal life. A good job, high salary, and benefits. Isn't this what many of us strive for? But his entrepreneurial father advised Robert to start his own business, arguing that becoming a pilot would lead him down the same path as his biological father, earning a fixed salary, depending on government support in retirement, and having slim chances of achieving financial freedom. Dreams are beautiful, but reality is harsh. Like most of us, Robert was a fresh graduate without a wealthy family background. Starting a business seemed impossible without substantial startup capital. He consulted his entrepreneurial father, asking, "I want to achieve financial freedom, but what can I do without money?" His father's immediate response was, "Go get a job." This confused Robert. Wasn't the goal to start a business? Why go back to employment? His father then shared a profound insight. Being an entrepreneur means not working solely for money. The primary goal of starting a business isn't to make money. A job is meant to help you acquire long-term skills. Don't see it as a means of survival, but as a process of gaining experience. Following this advice, Robert took a job selling photocopiers. He wasn't there just for the paycheck. His main goal was to overcome his fears, learn how to interact with people, develop self-presentation skills, and master the art of persuasion. In Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he gave similar advice to a PhD graduate in literature, recommending she try sales for the same reasons. Rich Dad emphasized another crucial point. Don't let money hold you back, because wealthy people don't work for money. We often see people, or find ourselves, sacrificing time, energy, and even health to earn money. essentially trading our lives for cash. This mindset turns you into a slave to work, as the free time that could be used to create greater value is spent on overtime and side jobs. For quick wealth building, Rich Dad has shown us how to secure initial capital. Next, let's discuss how to build a successful business. You might wonder why a book about investing discusses entrepreneurship. In Rich Dad's view, building a strong business is crucial for successful investing. A business not only provides investment assets but also generates rich cash flow and can bring substantial profits if sold. The ultimate strategy is going public, allowing you to sell your shares and become an ultimate investor. Plus, being on the inside of the investment gives you faster, more accurate information than outsiders. Rich Dad introduced the BI triangle model. When each component of this model is properly executed, the business can operate at high efficiency, and this triangle applies to any type of business activity. Whether you run a small shop or manage a large corporation, this model is universally applicable. Let me describe it. Imagine a triangle ruler like the ones we used in school. The three solid edges represent mission, team, and leadership. Inside the triangle, structured like a pyramid from bottom to top in order of importance, are cash flow, communication, systems, legal, and product. These 8 elements determine the success or failure of our business. Mission encompasses both spiritual and business purposes. While it's the foundation of the model, as Rich Dad says, making money shouldn't be your sole mission. Once your finances are flowing smoothly, your desire for money naturally diminishes. If money is your only motivation, passion will eventually fade. A spiritual mission is more meaningful, like how our goal is to help people save time and achieve cognitive growth more quickly. The second element is team. What a team needs most isn't hired employees, but mentors and advisors. Mentors guide the entire team in the right direction, while advisors include professionals like accountants and lawyers. It's about bringing together experts from various fields. Leadership is the third element, comprising internal and external leadership. Internal leadership manages daily operations. This can be someone you hire. External leadership, which should be our focus, is about expanding the business. Looking at the 5 internal structures of the business intelligence, BI, triangle, they're arranged by importance. Cash flow is most crucial, while product is least important. Everyone understands why cash flow is vital. Without money, a business can't operate. But why is the product least important? Don't we usually say content is king or product is king? Why does Rich Dad consider it least important? He uses McDonald's as an example. While it's one of the most successful global fast food chains, few would argue that McDonald's makes the world's best hamburgers. Yet we still value and love their products. Why? Because we've attached a mission to our products. They carry our expectations and values. Once we've learned how to run a business and create assets, are we set for life after making money? We all know the answer. How you spend money is just as important as how you earn it. Without a wealthy mindset, even sudden wealth carries the risk of bankruptcy. There are 5 reasons for this. The first reason is that poor people don't know how to manage large sums of money. Having never dealt with substantial amounts in their childhood, they lack perspective on monetary value and don't have professional financial advisors to help them. The second reason is that sudden wealth often leads to poor self-control. Without understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, people buy numerous liabilities like luxury goods, cars, private jets, and extensive world travel. The more impulsive the spending, the faster the wealth diminishes. The third reason is that when you become wealthy, many people start asking to borrow money. This creates a delicate situation where money matters can strain relationships. If you haven't learned to say no, you might end up lending out all your money. The fourth reason is that newly wealthy people often attempt investments without proper experience. As we've discussed before, lack of expertise is more dangerous than lack of money, making such investment behavior risky. The fifth reason is anxiety about wealth management. The more money people have, the more they fear losing it all. This leads to paralysis in investment decisions and inconsistent spending patterns. Let's examine how wealthy people spend money. They convert liabilities into assets and grow richer through their expenditures. How is this possible? Here's an example. Suppose you own a property that generates monthly rent. The property costs $1,000 monthly in property taxes and maintenance, and you collect $1,200 in rent. This gives you a net monthly income of $200. While you're responsible for $1,000 in monthly expenses, you're still profitable, albeit modestly. However, if you only collected $800 in rent with the same expenses, you'd lose $200 monthly, turning the property into a liability. The wealthy mindset focuses on converting liabilities into assets. As the rich father says, wealthy people have high expenses but low income because their expenses are invested in assets. Poor people have low expenses, but they're all liabilities. To summarize, this book demonstrates the wealthy's investment mindset, 7 investment principles, and 5 different types of investors. Successful investment requires knowledge, experience, and sufficient capital, with the most effective investment being asset creation. The business investment model can build powerful enterprises, and after achieving success, it's crucial to learn how to spend money by converting expenses into assets, making money to become increasingly wealthy. Rich Dad says that to become wealthy, you need to think like the rich and develop an entrepreneurial mindset. People invest for 2 main reasons. First, for security, ensuring they have sufficient resources when they retire and grow old. Second, to make more money. Before Christopher Columbus set sail, he received funding from the Spanish crown because they recognized his adventurous spirit, which contributed to his success. Similarly, once we earn our first pot of gold, more opportunities in the market will open up to us. The more money we make, the more people believe in our potential for success, making the path to financial freedom easier to navigate.